Chris Shipley, Shipley Pest Solutions. Pest control is like insurance. I've used this talking with customers for years and years and years. And what I mean by that is you don't understand the value of your pest control service, whether that's monthly, quarterly, whatever, until you have a problem. Predominantly, with these monthly or quarterly accounts that people just receive ongoing pest control, preventative maintenance type things, many of those services are needed, but you never truly understand the value of it until you have a problem. Anybody can come out and just treat some baseboards or treat some areas where you're seeing things, treat the foundation on the exterior, kill a bee nest, wasp nest, hornet nest, something like that. But until you get a problem, and if that company is providing a warranty, providing a ongoing, service-to-service warranty or something, which is what we do, you don't understand the value of your company. And that's what I mean when it comes to insurance, because if you have an internet insurance company and you get in an accident, chances are you don't know the agent that you'll be in contact with. Chances are they will communicate with you over the phone, maybe give you some pictures, or you send pictures and say, hey, what do I get out of this? And they go, this is what we'll pay you. And they just mail you a check. And that's why you got the discount on the internet insurance provider all these years, because you're probably going to receive that back as far as lack of service. And I've seen it over the years. And I've always used that description to people, is that anybody can come out, treat a house, be licensed, spray some, magic dust around, magic bug juice around. But you don't understand the value of what they're doing or providing until you have a problem, until you have ants on a kitchen counter that are, say, like odorous house ants, for example. Odorous house ants here in northern Indiana, but they exist throughout the country. Odorous house ants, if you spray them with a repellent pesticide, what they do when they go out into their foraging parties to go find food, they end up on a kitchen counter, right? First reaction is to take that can of whatever big box department store spray them, clean the counter off, because that's what people do. You spray to kill the bugs because you don't want them there. Odorous house ants will take a queen larva with them, and if they get separated from the colony, that could be pheromone trail interruption, meaning, because ants, every few steps, when they walk across something, their butt will touch. And so as they're walking, it will touch, it will touch, it will touch. And what that does is the proverbial ant trail forms then when there's a stronger food source or stronger water source or whatever they're feeding on right there. And so the more ants that travel across, they're bumping, the stronger that trail gets. Clorox cleaning wipe or a cleaning wipe can clean that pheromone trail off. Now that pheromone trail is disrupted, that kicks in the instinct of them, oh no, we're separated from the colony, let's start a new colony. And now, instead of one ant trail coming up to your counter and you just had one ant colony that was maybe right outside the window along the foundation, now you'll have two, because that ant colony will go find another suitable nesting site. Could be the bathroom a couple rooms over because they found some condensation in the shower, maybe a drain pipe, something like that in the subflooring, and now you have two ant colonies. You do it again because they popped up in the bathroom. These ants, they won't go with you. Spray them again. Okay, well, if that ant colony had enough time to get built up and has more ants, and so they're repopulating, now you'll end up with 3 or 4 ant colonies. You'll just fracture them again. And so odorous house ants provide a perfect example of what is the value of your pest control company, which goes clear back to the first thing that most pest control technicians are taught, first and foremost, which is identification, identification, identification. What's the problem? Where are you seeing them? What's the bug? Do you have a picture? Did you save one? Did you put it in a container? Could you get us a picture of it? That's one of the things we stress over and over and over again with people is, I don't care if you kill it. I don't care if you smash it. Put it on a piece of Scotch tape. Put it in a little Tupperware, container till we get there, till we can see it. Can you send us a picture? Can you email us? Can you text us? We have those abilities to communicate. And so that way I can ID it. If I'm out on the road, I might not be able to get there for 2, 3, 4 days. with an appointment, but at least I can give you some identification. And at least in those instances, like if I recognize that that's an odorous house ant and not a pavement ant, for example, which pavement ants are the guys that push up the dirt mounds. You'll see them a lot in driveways, sidewalks, in those expansion joints. They'll push the dirt up and they just live in the void underneath that hard surface there. Those guys you can spray all day. It'll kill them. They don't have a reproductive instinct like that where they'll take a queen larva with them to set up shop somewhere else. But I could tell you right away and say, okay, you know, and most of the time we get these calls, oh, I sprayed this, again, big box store brand product. I sprayed it all over the counter and they went away for a few days and then they came back and they seemed like they were stronger than ever. And now I'm getting them in the kitchen or in the other bathroom. And we get those calls a lot, predominantly here in the spring coming up. As odorous house ants and other ants will move from outside or inside that foundation to outside, and you catch them in transition where we're still getting these colder nights, March and April, still be around 40 degrees or so, and then they might come back in, but now they're caught in transition where they left their previous food stores, they're heading outside, they're starting to forage, it gets cold for a few days, and now they're stuck, and it's kind of like, where do we get food and water from? And then you'll end up with these influxes of, where do these ants come from? It happens a lot here for a couple month period in the spring here in northern Indiana. But to get back to the whole point of the video, pest control, whether it's ongoing, a one-time service, you know, whatever, your interaction with a pest control company is going to be very similar to an insurance company. Anybody that's licensed and has the equipment can show up, do the job, and by far and wide, the vast majority of pest control companies are good companies. But you do not know the value of them until you have a problem. Until, hey, we'll do this one-time service for you. We provide a 4-month warranty. And then 3 weeks later, you have a problem or you still have the same problem. You call, they come right back out. Okay, where's the problem? Okay, well, you know, because typically we have, if you have an ant situation, whatever type of ant they are, we have the standard, okay, we will do this. Then we'll just go down the chart. If we have to show up 2 or 3 times, we're going to keep going down the chart because we have a lot of tools in our arsenal where we can, you know, not just use chemical products or chemical repellents or whatever. We can inject. We have injection tools to inject, or maybe we're not getting the product to where they are along the foundation or underneath that baseboard. We have liquid baits. We have dry baits, you know, and so we just kind of go down this tier of, okay, what are we dealing with? And a lot of that's the value. That's the value of your pest control company. You know, we hear it quite often. Certain companies where somebody will call, they're provided a warranty with something. Oh, we called and called and called for weeks. They never came back out. They told us they'd come out, or they came out and they weren't happy about it. You know, and I've always just kind of operated under the assumption that I'm in this for the long haul. And so I don't want to ever be viewed as a fly-by-night company. I would rather lose money and the customer have a positive experience than to take the money, the customer has a terrible experience, and then you get destroyed on social media. And so, again, pest control, it's like insurance. There are companies out there that will always be able to do it cheaper, and there are companies that will always be more expensive. And I run your company however you want, but from a consumer standpoint, a customer standpoint, pest control is going to be like insurance, and you are ultimately going to get what you pay for. But most of the time, the only way you find that out is when you have an issue, when you have a problem, when you have a, you know, gosh, these things just won't go away. And that's where I've built some of my longest and best relationships with customers. We've kind of gone through the fire together. I've made mistakes along the way. I've learned. If I mess up, you know, and I figured out that I messed up, I just let the customer know. This was earlier. I mean, I still make mistakes, but those pitfalls were a lot earlier in my career. You know, I'm 17, 18 years here now, so I kind of know what to do to avoid those now. But again, you don't know the value of it until something goes wrong. And then when it goes wrong, then you typically have a very bad experience. And the unfortunate thing is most people, they will never go back to that company once they have a bad experience. And so, yeah, just something I always find myself telling people and figured I'd share. Thank you.